Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. All right, let's dive right into a really strange and honestly an increasingly relevant question. Is the internet, the one we all know and love, actually gone?
You know, this recent comment from Sam Altman got a lot of people's attention. And when the guy who runs OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, says he's seeing tons of accounts run by LLMs or large language models, well, that's when a pretty fringe theory suddenly gets a huge mainstream spotlight.
I mean, you've probably felt it, right? That feeling when you're scrolling and everything just seems kind of familiar, a little too perfect. The comment sections feel, artificial. So what is this dead internet theory that Sam Altman's talking about? And more importantly, why does it hit so close to home? Why does it perfectly describe that feeling of wandering through a digital ghost town?
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover today. We'll start with that something feels off vibe, then get into what the dead internet theory actually is, how it went from a weird conspiracy to a real conversation, and finally, how AI is basically pouring fuel on this whole fire. We'll also touch on whether a zombie internet might be a better way to think about it. All right, first up, something feels off online, and a big part of that is the bot problem. Let's start with a problem that every single one of us has run into, whether we realize it or not. Remember back in 2022 during that whole Twitter acquisition saga? Elon Musk made the absolutely wild claim that something like 90% of the replies on the platform were from bots. Now, this wasn't just some random tweet. It became a huge central legal point in one of the biggest tech buyouts ever. It basically put a giant spotlight on a problem that users had been feeling for years, that the platform just felt overrun.
So this huge, very public bot problem, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. It's the foundation for a much bigger and, frankly, kind of unsettling idea.
So what is it? Well, the dead internet theory is basically the belief that the internet we use today isn't really a human-to-human space anymore. The idea is that most of what you see online, the articles, the posts, the comments, is now machine-generated. It's content created by algorithms and bots, pretty much for other algorithms and bots. And we're just the humans caught in the middle, served up whatever the system thinks will keep us engaged.
And look, this isn't some brand new idea that just popped up. It's been brewing for a while. It started way back around 2016 on some obscure forum, just a user noticing weird stuff on 4chan. Then, in 2021, a big article in The Atlantic brought it to a much wider audience. A year later, Elon Musk's claims about Twitter bots basically threw gasoline on the fire. And here's the crazy part. All of this happened before the huge explosion in generative AI we're seeing right now.
So how does something go from a niche conspiracy theory on a forum to a topic that the head of OpenAI is talking about? Let's dig into how it gains so much traction.
Its rise wasn't really random at all. It took off because it gave a name to a feeling that so many of us were already having. That nagging sense that the internet was just getting weird, emptier, less human. And when big publications and people like Elon Musk started talking about it, it just confirmed what everyone was already suspecting.
And that brings us right up to the present day. Because if the bot problem was the kindling for this fire, well, generative AI is a tanker truck of gasoline being poured right on top of it. It's accelerating this whole thing at a speed that's just staggering. And the main result of this AI explosion is a new kind of content that people have started calling AI slop. And I guarantee you've seen it even if you didn't have a name for it. It's that endless river of low-quality, kind of bizarre, but for some reason captivating content that just clogs up our social media feeds.
I'm talking about stuff like those endless AI-generated memes in the style of Studio Ghibli. The ones? They look kind of right, but also deeply wrong at the same time.
And then you get those fake viral videos of talking animals or some impossible event happening. They're designed to make you pause for just a second, just long enough to get your engagement before you realize you've been had.
And of course, you've got the really weird stuff, like those bizarre AI-generated photos of celebrity babies that just feel uncanny. The whole point of this slop is to be just weird enough to break through the noise and make you stop scrolling. And when you do that, you're telling the algorithm, hey, more of this, please, and the cycle just continues.
So with all this AI-generated stuff flooding everything, some people are starting to say, maybe dead internet isn't the right term. Maybe it's more of a zombie internet.
The idea is that, we, the real humans, we're not actually gone. We're still here, but we're just lost in this massive, shuffling crowd of AI content and bots. We're hopelessly outnumbered, wandering through a digital world that's dominated by this mindless, automated content.
So, okay, let's take a step back. What's the verdict? Is the internet really a zombie? What does all this actually mean for us? So, what's the big takeaway here? Look, the internet isn't literally dead. I mean, you're here, I'm here, we're still using it. But it is undeniable that the character of the internet, its fundamental nature, is changing, and it's changing faster than ever before.
What it really boils down to is this. First, that line between what a human creates and what a bot creates, it's getting blurrier every single day. Second, all of this mass-produced AI slop is pushing out the real, authentic stuff. It's just crowding out actual human conversation. And that means, third, finding a real, genuine human connection online, well, it's getting a lot harder.
So that leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on, right? In this massive, growing ocean of AI-generated content, how are we supposed to find the real people? It's something to think about the next time you're scrolling through your feed. Just ask yourself, was this made by a person for a person? Or was it made for the machine? The answer might be a little unsettling. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.